Today we're talking about NAS, Network Attached Storage, which, as the name suggests, is storage that's attached to a network. Revolutionary. It's the sort of thing people buy when they've run out of other ways to feel productive. The idea is simple. You want all your files in one place, easily accessible, with absolutely no one to blame but yourself when it stops working. It's perfect if you enjoy the thrill of having all the enterprise level responsibility and none of the paycheck. By the end of this video, you'll know what a NAS is, what it actually does, why RAID matters, and whether you should buy one or build one yourself. At the very least, you'll understand why nerds won't shut up about them. Strap in, it's going to be painfully educational. Hello, I'm Jeff. Welcome to Fast How To. This is the channel where I make tech make sense. No buzzwords, no gatekeeping, and no 40-minute detours about the history of Linux. If you like plain English explanations with just enough sarcasm to keep things honest, hit subscribe. It's cheaper than therapy and mildly more educational. So what is a NAS really? At its core, a NAS is a small computer built for one job, storing your files and pretending it's more important than it actually is. You plug it into your network so every device in your house, your laptop, your phone, and that one smart TV that's still trying to update itself from 2019 can all pull files from the same place at the same time. It's basically your own personal cloud, except this one lives in your home. It's entirely your responsibility, and when it breaks, you can't email support because you are support. You can back up your files automatically, stream your media, or keep your cat photos somewhere other than the cloud, where a bored intern is definitely not scrolling through them for analytics. In short, it's your own personal data center, without the data center part or the competence. Before we go any further, there's one word that you're going to hear a lot when people talk about NAS, and that's RAID. RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks, which sounds impressive, but really just means that your hard drives have formed a support group. RAID 1 mirrors your data. Same files, multiple drives, double the false confidence. RAID 5 spreads data across drives with something called parity. Basically, math that helps rebuild when one dies. RAID 0, on the other hand, skips the whole redundant part entirely. It should really be called AID because when it fails, that's exactly what you'll need. The O, that's for optimism. It's fast, it's reckless, and it's one bad drive away from emotional damage. RAID does not replace backups, but it will help you avoid crying on the floor when one of your drives decides it's had enough. Right now, your files are probably scattered across every device you own. Photos on your phone, videos on your tablet, documents on your laptop, and a mysterious folder called Stuff that's been haunting your desktop since 2017. A NAS pulls all that chaos into one place. It can back up your computers automatically, stream your media, and give you access to everything from anywhere, even while you're pretending to work on vacation. It sounds nerdy, and it is, but it's also one of those things that quietly becomes essential. It's like plumbing. You don't notice it until it breaks, and then suddenly it's the only thing that you care about. All right, before you rush out and buy the first 5-star NAS that shows up on Amazon next to a latte, let's talk about what actually matters. More bays mean more storage, more redundancy, and more ways to spend money you didn't mean to. 2 bays are fine for most people. 4 or more if you store 4K video, back up everyone in the house, or if you just have issues with spinning rust. Buy 7200 RPM drives with plenty of cache, 256 or 512 meg, ideally 1 gig if you enjoy feeling superior. More drives equals more speed. So if you care about performance, add drives, add cache, and pretend you understand why. For basic storage, an entry-level CPU and 2 to 4 gigs of RAM is fine. If you're running apps, media servers, or Docker containers, and if that sentence confused you, good news, you don't need them. Get something with a real CPU and at least 8 gigs of RAM. Bonus points if it lets you upgrade later. Some manufacturers love soldering in memory just to remind you who's really in charge. So what kind of storage should you choose? There are 3 different types that have fought it out over the years: HDD or hard disk drive, SSD or solid state drive, and NVMe or non-volatile memory express. If you commit the brain cells to learning what those stand for, you'll increase your chances of winning trivia night at Best Buy. However, you'll also decrease your chances of getting a date. Hard drives. They're cheap, slow, and nostalgic. SSDs. Faster, quieter, ruinous to your budget. NVMe. So fast it makes your Ethernet cable feel inadequate. The right setup? Hard drives for capacity, SSDs for speed, or NVMe for cache. And the self-satisfaction of copying files faster than your neighbor's Wi-Fi. At a minimum, gigabit Ethernet. For large files, 2.5 or 10 gigabit. Not because you need it, but because watching the progress bar move quickly is free therapy. Just make sure your network isn't the bottleneck, or congratulations, you've built an expensive disappointment. Good NAS software is simple enough to use without a manual, but complicated enough to pretend you read one. Synology DSM, QNAP QTS, and TrueNAS are all solid options. Avoid anything that looks like it was coded during the XP era. Ignore gimmicks like AI sorting, VPN servers, and email servers. If your NAS starts offering to do your taxes, unplug it immediately. When you've decided you're ready for a NAS, you've got 2 paths: buy one or build one. Buying one means Synology, QNAP, Asus Store, Ugreen, sleek, plug-and-play boxes that make you feel like an adult that's made a responsible decision. Take it out of the box, plug it in, open a browser, done. The setup's polished, software's intuitive, and you can go from what's a NAS to home IT legend in 15 minutes or less. The downside? You're married to the hardware. Upgrading is possible, in the same way that open heart surgery is possible. Still, for most people, a pre-built NAS is perfect. Quiet, efficient, and reliable enough to make you suspicious. But if you like to tinker, or you've got an old PC collecting dust, TrueNAS is your playground. TrueNAS is free and turns nearly any PC into a serious storage server. You pick the parts, the drives, the network cards, basically a choose-your-own adventure of all the ways to make your life harder. Want NVMe caching? Sure. 40 drive bays? Have fun explaining that. The hard part's all in the beginning. Picking compatible parts, learning ZFS, and pretending you won't regret your choices later. But once it's running, rock solid. No weird licensing, no subscription nonsense. It just works. Buying a NAS is like buying a pre-built gaming PC. Quick and easy. True NAS is like building one yourself. More difficult, slower, but infinitely more satisfying. I spent about 40 hours researching before buying a single component for my TrueNAS server. So if that sounds like your kind of weekend, subscribe. I've got videos on the way about installing TrueNAS, configuring storage, caching, and tying it all into Home Assistant. Because, obviously, it's not a project until Home Assistant's involved. Let's talk about power, because nothing kills the fun like your wife seeing the electric bill. A 2-bay NAS might use 15 to 20 watts, basically a nightlight that never quits. A 4-bay setup, around 40 to 70 watts. Still modest, but just enough to make you a hypocrite when you tell everyone else to turn off the lights. A full custom TrueNAS build with multiple CPUs and a dozen drives? Congratulations, you've built a small space heater with network access. Over a month, you'll spend a few bucks for the smaller systems and maybe 10 or 12 for the big ones, depending on the cost of power where you live. Not bad, but it's enough to remind you that your storage works harder than you do. And hey, if you like videos that make tech slightly less painful, check out my Patreon. You'll get early access to ad-free videos, behind-the-scenes footage, giveaways, Discord access, and even copies of my full Home Assistant config. Benefits start at just $3 a month. Cheaper than a bad cup of coffee, and less likely to give you anxiety. So, should you buy or build? If you want something that just quietly does its job, buy one. If you like control, tinkering, or unnecessary amounts of personal validation, build one. Either way, you'll have a reliable, private place for your files and a new level of smug satisfaction every time someone says, "I just used the cloud." I'm Jeff, this is Fast How To, and now you officially know more about NAS than most people who own one. Hit like, subscribe, and enjoy that fleeting moment of technical superiority while it lasts.